In 1984, V shocked television audiences with alien visitors, hidden secrets, and a terrifying fight for humanity's survival. More than 40 years later, the faces that once defined this sci-fi classic have changed in ways many viewers never expected. Some stars aged gracefully, some are almost unrecognizable today, and others sadly left us forever. In this video, let's look back at the V in 2026. Marc Singer was born in 1948 in Vancouver, British Columbia, Canada. He was 36 when he played Mike Donovan, the fearless cameraman who slowly turns from observer into one of the faces of the human resistance. Singer also made his mark in the Beastmaster films and appeared in shows like Dallas and Arrow, keeping a loyal fan base in sci-fi and fantasy circles. As of 2026, he is 78 years old and appears on screen less often these days. Mike Donovan gave the alien invasion story its action hero heartbeat. Singer made him brave, stubborn, and just reckless enough to feel like the kind of guy who would run toward the truth instead of away from it. Michael Ironside was born in 1950 in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. He was 34 when he played Ham Tyler, bringing a hard military edge to the resistance with that gravelly voice and no-nonsense stare. Ironside built a career on tough, intense roles in Top Gun, Total Recall, Starship Troopers, and the Splinter Cell games. As of 2026, he is 76 years old and still active in film, television, and voice work. Ham Tyler was the kind of character who made the war against the Visitors feel dirtier and more dangerous. Ironside played him like a man who had already seen the worst and was ready for more. Robert Englund was born in 1947 in Glendale, California. He was 37 when he played Willie, the gentle visitor who seemed far too kind for a species secretly taking over Earth. Englund became a horror legend as Freddy Krueger in A Nightmare on Elm Street, while still keeping a loyal sci-fi fan base from his earlier television work. As of 2026, he is 79 years old and still appears in genre projects from time to time. Willie gave V one of its softer surprises. Englund made him awkward, sweet, and strangely lovable, proving that not every visitor had to be terrifying to be unforgettable. Lane Smith was born in 1936 in Memphis, Tennessee. He was 48 when he played Nathan Bates, the powerful businessman who saw the alien crisis as a chance to gain control. Smith later became widely recognized as Perry White on Lois and Clark, The New Adventures of Superman, bringing that same booming authority to a very different comic book world. He died in 2005 at age 69 after a battle with ALS. Nathan Bates made the human side of the invasion feel just as dangerous as the visitors. Smith played him with polished arrogance, showing how greed could be every bit as cold as alien power. Michael Wright was born in 1956 in New York City. He was 28 when he played Elias Taylor, a street-smart survivor trying to find his place in a world turned upside down. Wright later won the Volpe Cup for Best Actor for Streamers and appeared in films and shows like The Five Heartbeats, Oz, and Black Lightning. As of 2026, he is 70 years old and keeps a low public profile. Elias brought grit and street-level reality to the resistance story. Wright made him tough, guarded, and human, the kind of character who reminded viewers that survival was not just happening on the battlefield. Aki Leong was born in 1934 in Port of Spain, Trinidad. He was 49 when he played Mr. Chiang, bringing a calm, watchful presence into the tense world of human resistance and visitor control. He gave the role a quiet seriousness, the kind that made even a smaller character feel connected to a much bigger underground struggle. Leong built a career that stretched across 8 decades, with roles in Dragon, The Bruce Lee Story, Missing in Action 3, and many television dramas, while also becoming an important advocate for Asian representation in Hollywood. He died in 2025 at age 90, at his home in Los Angeles. Mr. Chang may not be one of the loudest names in the story, but Leong made him feel steady, intelligent, and grounded. In a series full of alien disguises and resistance fighters, His presence added a human layer that helped make the danger feel closer to home. Faye Grant was born in 1957 in St. Clair Shores, Michigan. She was 27 when she played Dr. Julie Parrish, the young scientist who becomes one of the strongest voices against the visitors. Smart, brave, and emotionally driven, Grant made Julie feel like someone pushed into leadership because the world gave her no other choice. Grant later appeared in projects like The Greatest American Hero, Internal Affairs, and State of Grace, showing a range that moved beyond science fiction into drama and television comedy. As of 2026, she is 69 years old and lives much more quietly than during her peak television years. Julie Parrish gave the resistance its moral backbone. Grant played her with urgency and heart, not like a perfect superhero, but like a real person forced to stand up when fear, loss, and betrayal were closing in from every side. June Chadwick was born in 1951 in Warwickshire, England. She was 32 when she played Lydia, the ambitious visitor officer who brought icy beauty and political danger into the alien command. Elegant, sharp, and always measuring the room, Chadwick made Lydia feel like a threat wrapped in perfect control. Chadwick also stood out in This Is Spinal Tap and appeared in series like Riptide, building a career that mixed cult comedy, drama, and sci-fi television. She turned 75 in 2026 and has lived far more privately in recent years, away from regular screen work. Lydia added a different flavor to the visitor world. She was not just another alien in uniform. Chadwick gave her jealousy, pride, and a dangerous hunger for power, making every quiet stare feel like part of a much bigger game. Jeff Yager was born in 1961 in Lawrence, Kansas. He was 23 when he played Kyle Bates, bringing a young, restless edge into the resistance story, at a point where the fight against the visitors needed fresh blood and a little more danger. Yager made his television debut with this role, then continued working across film and TV with appearances in projects like Shag, Star Trek, Voyager, and 6 Feet Under. As of 2026, he is 65 years old and keeps a much lower profile than during his early screen years. Kyle Bates added youth, attitude, and tension to the human side of the war. Yager made him feel impulsive and emotional, like someone born into comfort but forced to learn very quickly what survival really costs. Howard K. Smith was born in 1914 in Faraday, Louisiana. He was 70 when he appeared as himself, bringing real broadcast authority into a fictional world where alien occupation and media control felt uncomfortably believable. Smith was not just a TV face. He was one of the famous Murrow Boys, covered World War II, wrote Last Train from Berlin, and later became a major CBS and ABC News commentator. He died in 2002 at age 87 after pneumonia. His presence gave the series a strange touch of realism. When Smith appeared on screen, the invasion felt less like pure fantasy and more like a real breaking news crisis interrupting ordinary American life. Frank Ashmore was born in 1945 in El Paso, Texas. He was 39 when he played Philip, a visitor commander who brought a colder, more controlled energy into the power struggles inside the alien regime. Ashmore was already connected to the franchise through his earlier role as Martin, and he also appeared in Airplane, Airplane 2, Happy Days, and The West Wing. As of 2026, he is 81 years old and appears on screen only rarely now. Philip stood out because Ashmore gave him more than just alien authority. He made the character sharp, formal, and quietly conflicted. The kind of visitor who made the politics behind the invasion feel just as dangerous as the battles. Judson Scott was born in 1952 in Azusa, California. He was 32 when he played Lieutenant James, a cold and loyal visitor officer who brought a sharper military menace into the alien command structure. Scott also drew sci-fi attention through Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, along with roles in The Phoenix, The Colbys, and later television guest work. As of 2026, he is 74 years old and has lived far away from the heavy spotlight of his early genre fame. Lieutenant James gave the visitors another hard edge. Scott played him with discipline, arrogance, and a dangerous calm, like a soldier who believed every order from the alien regime was already justified. Duncan Regehr was born in 1952 in Lethbridge, Alberta, Canada. He was 32 when he played Charles, the elegant visitor leader whose charm made the alien power games feel even more dangerous. Regehr later played Zorro in The New Zorro, Count Dracula in The Monster Squad, and also built a respected life as a painter and writer. He turned 74 in 2026 and has spent recent years more closely tied to art than regular screen work. Charles brought a smoother kind of threat into the series. Regehr made him polished, romantic, and manipulative, the kind of alien villain who did not need to shout when a quiet smile could do the damage. Jenny Beck was born in 1974 in Los Angeles, California. She was 10 when she played young Elizabeth Maxwell, the mysterious child whose rapid growth made the visitor invasion feel strange, personal, and unsettling. Beck later appeared in projects like Troll, Tales from the Dark Side, and Paradise, before stepping away from regular acting. She turns 52 in 2026 and has lived a much quieter life outside the child star spotlight. Elizabeth Maxwell gave the story one of its eeriest sci-fi ideas. Beck made her innocent but otherworldly, like a child caught between humanity and the visitors, carrying a secret nobody fully understood. Mickey Jones was born in 1941 in Houston, Texas. He was 43 when he played Chris Farber, Ham Tyler's rough-edged partner in the Resistance. With his beard, biker look, and no Polish attitude, Jones made Chris feel like a man who had already lived hard before the visitors ever arrived. Before acting became his main lane, Jones had a whole other life as a drummer, playing with artists like Bob Dylan, Johnny Rivers, Trini Lopez, and Kenny Rogers' First Edition. He later became familiar on shows like Home Improvement and Justified before he died in 2018 at age 76 after a long illness. Chris Farber gave the Resistance a more blue-collar, street-level toughness. Jones did not look like a clean-cut hero, and that was the appeal. He brought grit, humor, and a little outlaw energy to a war where ordinary people had to become fighters. Peter Elbling was born in 1943 in London, England. He was 40 when he played Oswald, bringing a strange, theatrical flavor into the uneasy world of humans and visitors. His presence gave the series one of those offbeat side characters who made the occupation feel weirder and more unpredictable. Elbling built a varied career as an actor, writer, performer, and storyteller, with credits connected to The Man with Two Brains, Once Bitten, and Honey, I Blew Up the Kid. He turns 83 in November 2026 and has spent much of his later life more focused on writing and creative work than steady screen acting. Oswald was not the type of character who needed to dominate the story. Elbling made him odd, memorable, and slightly slippery, the kind of face that fit perfectly in a sci-fi world where nobody seemed completely safe or completely normal. Bruce Davison was born in 1946 in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. He was 38 when he played John Langley, giving the human side of the story a calmer, more thoughtful presence. In a series filled with fear, propaganda, and alien control, Davison brought a quieter emotional weight. Davison went on to earn an Academy Award nomination for Best Supporting Actor for Longtime Companion, also winning a Golden Globe and an Independent Spirit Award for that performance. As of 2026, he is 80 years old and still appears in film and television from time to time. John Langley added a more grounded note to the chaos around the visitors. Davison has always been good at playing intelligence and vulnerability together, and that made his role feel human in a story built on suspicion, invasion, and survival. Nicky Katt was born in 1970 in South Dakota. He was 14 when he played Sean Donovan, Mike Donovan's son caught inside the fear and confusion of a world secretly controlled by the visitors. Even as a young actor, Katt gave Sean a believable mix of innocence, worry, and emotional pressure. Katt later became known for intense character roles in Dazed and Confused, Boston Public, Boiler Room, Insomnia, and The Dark Knight. He died in 2025 at age 54, with his family later confirming suicide after a private battle with depression. Sean Donovan gave the invasion story a personal cost. Through him, the fight was not just about spaceships, uniforms, and resistance missions. It was about families being torn apart, children being pulled into danger, and parents trying to save the people they loved. Michael Durrell was born in 1939 in Brooklyn, New York. He was 45 when he played Robert Maxwell, the father whose family becomes painfully tied to the visitor's terrifying experiment with human life. He brought a grounded, protective energy to a story full of paranoia and alien control. Durrell later stayed familiar to TV audiences through roles in Santa Barbara, Beverly Hills, 90210, Sister Act, and other film and television work. He turns 87 in 2026 and has lived far more quietly than during his regular screen years. Robert Maxwell helped make the sci-fi danger feel painfully domestic. Durrell played him like a father trying to understand something no parent could be prepared for, giving the alien invasion a human heartbreak behind all the spectacle. Brett Cullen was born in 1956 in Houston, Texas. He was 28 when he played Robert, bringing a younger, serious presence into the uneasy world of resistance, survival, and visitor deception. His role may not be the loudest, but it added another human face to a world under pressure. Cullen built a long television and film career with roles in Falcon Crest, The Young Riders, Lost, Person of Interest, The Dark Knight Rises, and Joker. As of 2026, he is 70 years old and still appears in screen projects from time to time. Robert belongs to the wider human side of the story, where ordinary people are forced to live under fear, lies, and invasion. Cullen gave him a steady seriousness that helped the series feel broader than just its main heroes. Conrad Janis was born in 1928 in New York City. He was 56 when he played Dr. David Atkins, bringing an older, thoughtful presence into the uneasy science fiction world of human experiments, visitor secrets, and resistance fear. Janis had a long, creative life beyond one genre, best known to many viewers as Mindy's father on Mork and Mindy, while also working as a jazz trombonist and art world figure. He died in 2022 at age 94, with the cause not publicly specified by his family. Dr. Atkins added a quieter human note to the chaos of V. Janis, gave the role a sense of intelligence and concern, like a man trying to understand a crisis that had moved far beyond ordinary medicine or ordinary rules. Jane Badler was born in 1953 in Brooklyn, New York. She was 30 when she played Diana, the beautiful but terrifying visitor commander whose calm smile could hide cruelty, ambition, and cold alien intelligence. Badler later returned to the world of V in the 2009 reboot, while also building a career in music, cabaret, and television work in Australia. As of 2026, she is 72 years old and still keeps a strong connection with sci-fi fans. Diana became the face of the visitor's danger. Badler played her with elegance, control, and a wicked kind of confidence, making every polite look feel like a threat waiting to happen. Thanks for watching. Which V cast member surprised you the most? Share your thoughts below, and subscribe for more classic then and now stories.